Andrew Whitfield removed as a deputy trade minister, and search and recovery operations continue in the Eastern Cape. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. It's still the top story this hour. President Cyril Ramaphosa has axed Andrew Whitfield as Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry as well as Competition. In a short statement, his office thanked Whitfield for his service, providing no reason for his removal. Whitfield was one of two deputy ministers serving under Minister Park Stawu. He was appointed just over a year ago when the DA joined the ANC-led Government of National Unity. The announcement follows speculation that the president would be announcing a cabinet reshuffle today. Ramaphosa spokesperson Vincent Magwenya says the president is not planning a wholesale reshuffle. Meanwhile, in the wake of the president's announcement this afternoon, DA Federal Council Chairperson Helen Ziller has called an urgent federal executive meeting, which is expected to take place sometime later today. We stay with politics, where the DA has faced yet another defeat, this time in Tshwane, where its motion of no confidence against Council Speaker Mncedi Nzwanana has failed. Councillors voted on the motion a short while ago, with the majority supporting Nzwanana to remain in his role. Nzwanana, who is the sole ATM councillor in Tshwane, has occupied the position for over 2 years now. We shift our focus to this. A 1-year-old baby has been identified as the youngest victim of the recent flooding in the Eastern Cape. The provincial government has been briefing the media today, where it confirmed that the death toll remains at 101. Cocter MEC Zolile Williams has been updating the public as search and recovery teams enter a third week of their operations. Rescuers are still scouring the Mthatha River for more victims, including 2 children aged 8 and 12 who disappeared when bridges collapsed and homes were swept away. The briefing comes as a new cold front begins to lash parts of the province with heavy rain and snowfall forecast. Williams says the death toll may still climb, but authorities are working to bring families the closure they desperately need.
Recovered bodies so far, 94 have been identified and handed over to their families. Processes are still ongoing to identify the remaining 7 bodies. Unfortunately, due to the passage of time, DNA tests may be required to positively identify bodies.
In other weather-related matters, heavy rain continues to wreak havoc in many parts of the Western Cape today, leaving thousands of residents destitute. Humanitarian aid workers and government officials are crisscrossing the province to assist those affected. Weather-related incidents have been reported in Khayelitsha, Lwandle, Nomzamo, as well as Belgravia. Ntutuzelonene has more.
About 150 people from Site C in Khayelitsha have filled a small community hall after being forced to leave their waterlogged homes last night. Groups are huddled around 2 small heaters, while some flood victims have covered themselves with light blankets, trying to keep warm. Ward 87 councillor Kaile Tukama says hundreds of other Khayelitsha residents still wait to be evacuated.
Some of them we have asked to relocate to their friends and families, and some of them we've managed to secure this venue. So we started to relocate them since last night. We will still be doing the same thing even today.
Kama has appealed for donations of non-perishable foods, blankets, clothes and mattresses to help the affected families. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Khayelitsha.
Some residents of Kliptown in Soweto, where the Freedom Charter was adopted, say government has fallen short of achieving the ideas contained in the document. Today marks exactly 70 years since political formations from all racial groups met at the Walter Sisulu Square for a Congress of the People and adopted the Freedom Charter. At the time, the charter would serve as a blueprint to what a democratic South Africa should look like. Thabiso Koba has more.
The dilapidated Walter Sisulu Square overlooks an informal settlement made up of corrugated iron houses. In the more formal areas of Kliptown, sewage runs across the streets, businesses are boarded up, and waste remains uncollected. Like most young people in the area, 30-year-old resident Naledi Molemi is unemployed.
Well, basically the government, I think, is trying, but they're not doing enough. Most of the youth here, they're busy using drugs, too much unemployment, and even the shops here around, the community is not being hired. They rather choose people from outside.
With the ANC hosting a commemorative event in Kliptown today, some residents in the area say the ideals contained in the Freedom Charter remain elusive. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And in the UK, weight loss injections have been linked to hundreds of people falling ill, as well as 10 deaths. Health officials have now launched an investigation into the side effects of weight loss drugs such as Ozempic, saying hundreds of people have reported problems with their pancreas. While none have been proven to be caused directly by the drugs, which are also used to treat diabetes, there are fears that there is not enough known about the links. Officials say the investigation will help to generate data on and evidence for safer and more effective treatment through more personalized approaches to prescription. Gold is trading at $3,341.43 an ounce. The rand is at 17.69 to the dollar, 24.31 to the pound, 20.64 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.68 a barrel.
Well, at this stage in the Kempton Park area, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic heading towards OR Tambo International Airport. That's on the R21 southbound between the between Olifantsfontein Road and the R23 Benoni off-ramp, while in Midrand Centurion area. There's also slow-moving traffic on the N1 southbound, and that's between Brakfontein Road and Samrand.
It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 20 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, President Cyril Ramaphosa has axed Andrew Whitfield as the Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. 702 Walk the Talk, hosted by Freedom Park in the city of Tshwane, is where footsteps become footprints.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja
Live, streaming countrywide
on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Eight minutes after 1 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja, on this Thursday, the 26th of June, or as we call it, the Youth Takeover on 702 Afternoons. I'm so excited. I'm going to introduce you to the youth for today in the show, and I hope you show them some love. They will be joined in our Belief Matters feature by Janine Preston, who's a travel writer and editor and digital nomad. We'll be talking today about why the four-leaf clover is considered lucky. So that's for Belief Matters. Our consumer rights feature with Wendy Nola. She comes through with yet another vehicle dealership situation that cost someone a lot of money. So that will be for our consumer rights feature. And of course, we'll open up the lines for all of you as well with your consumer rights issues. Get in touch with us, 011 883 0702. SMS us 31702. Tweet at Relebogile M, at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
It's a youth takeover on this Thursday, as we have been doing for the entire month. So a quick recap for those of you who don't know what we are talking about at all. We decided as a team that, you know what, for Youth Month, we want to give as many opportunities as possible to young people who would love to get into radio and talk radio. So we started off with a sports presenter, a budding sports presenter at only 18 years old. And then we gave an opportunity to somebody who was reading in as a traffic presenter. Then we went to a news reader, and each week they have had themselves a mentor. Now, this is the final week where we are giving the opportunity for the role of host. But I have to tell you, majority of the requests that came in were for being a talk show host or a radio show presenter. And we said, you know what? How can we create space for more and have a bigger impact? So we actually started yesterday. Those of you that follow us on social media will know that yesterday we had not one, but two people join us in studio. So the first thing they did, they came in around 1 o'clock. They got to get a tour and sort of also sit while we were doing the show, so they could just watch me work. The role of host is massive, not just in terms of the amount of work, but the responsibility that comes with host. Hence, we're extending it over a period. And on top of that, we then said, okay, today we're going to do what we usually do by having the hosts in studio with us. We're going to chat to them, get to know them, and the same as the other roles, I'm going to give them their assignments on air. So they really don't know what it is that they have to do. But let's meet them and show them some love, and get in touch with us on 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. We have first up as our youth, Gerhard Maritz, who is a 20-year-old student, currently a sports presenter at Tux FM. How are you doing, Gerhard?
Relebogile, I'm doing very, very good. Very good.
Are you enjoying yourself so far?
Yo, it's an absolute experience. I can't explain how blessed I am to just be here today.
I'm so happy that we can be a part of that. And I'm glad I'm not the one who does the choosing. We also have with us Khanya Ramahali, who is 14 years old and is currently at St. Stithians Girls College. How are you doing, girl?
Oh, I am doing amazing. I'm fabulous. How are you?
Listen, I am so well and I'm excited. You have to tell me how, and I'm going to start with you, Khanya. I'll come back to you, Gerhard. How did you find out about this initiative?
Oh, so just by asking a question. See, I'm one of those people that don't wait for opportunities.
Yes.
Instead, I create them. So I asked, because I also work as a TV presenter at a different show, I asked my producer, Auntie Judy, I'm really interested in these voiceovers, how they work, and also just the job of it all. And she actually just recommended this, and rest is history.
So I just want to clarify before we get in trouble. Are you supposed to be in school right now? Let's just clarify.
Yes, I am.
So your parents are helping you bunk school to be here.
That is an interesting way of putting it. Very interesting. Well, we're actually closing early today for the midterm break. So
you were on holiday anyways.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
That's it.
Okay, and just so everybody is aware, her dad came and brought her yesterday. He actually hung out with the team because we're responsible here as we walk the talk. And I did say to the team, she's 14. Like, are we not taking somebody's child out of school? She was in school uniform yesterday as well. But yes, it is all A-okay with the parentals, or as young people say, the rents. I'm with them.
Okay,
the rents.
Okay.
Gerhard, how did you find out about this?
Actually, through our project manager, Luazi, at Tux FM. And I've only been working there for probably a month.
Really?
Only a month. And as you stated, I'm only a sports presenter, and I actually wanted to do the role of presenting. And I did my application 4 hours before it closed at Tux FM, and I still got it.
Gosh.
So it was really on the nipper that I got it. And he sent on our community group, he said, hey, there's a youth thing happening at 702, apply for it, do it. Get as much airtime as you ever can.
Yes.
And, I did it. And I'm sitting in front of you, speaking on a microphone.
Shout out to both of your mentor seniors, managers that you report to as well, just for letting you know about it. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we get to know a little bit more about Gerhard and Khanya. And I'm going to give them their tasks. Yo, guys, I'm nervous for them. That's how big a deal it is. 15 after 1 o'clock.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
Dr. Kimberly Chappelle, Assistant Professor in the Department of Anatomical Sciences at Stony Brook University in New York. Were dinosaurs for real, or are they just fantasy and great entertainment?
They're absolutely real. In fact, South Africa has one of the most interesting dinosaur fossil records in the world. And very excited about the new dinosaur center in Golden Gate Highlands National Park. And now everyone can go and see dinosaurs for themselves. They're all very proudly South African dinosaurs too.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Mzansi Ballet's finest come together in one spectacular show. Fusion of Favorites, a unique and highly anticipated performance set to take place at Peter Torin's Monte Casino Theatre from the 19th to the 27th of June. The performance will also feature the world premiere of Vincent Manzwe's song of Kudugo, Exodus, as well as new works by Angela Ravi. There are only 4 shows, so get your tickets now before they sell out. Secure yours at webtickets.co.za.
Quiet, please.
The Wimbledon experience in Mzansi is back at Amex Tennis Town Monte Casino between 11 and 13 July 2025. Enjoy VIP hospitality, the ultimate big screen experience, and more than just strawberries and cream. Buy your tickets now using your Amex card on Howler and get 50% off on limited tickets. Amex Tennis Town, the Championships Wimbledon experience with the Mzansi advantage. Tennis is better with Amex.
Mom, Dad, you're not gonna believe this.
What's up, bud?
Luke's family has a kitchen.
Okay.
Like a real one, with knives and a sink for dishes. His mom was just standing there, making food with her hands. There was a fridge full of vegetables, even broccoli.
Not broccoli.
Oh, the horror. Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia, connecting the Thai way.
Hello, welcome to the Crazy Store.
Hello, hi. I would like a refund for the stress ball.
Of course.
I have been squeezing it for 6 days and I'm still totally stressed out.
I see.
These safety pins, they don't work. I pinned them to my pants, but they don't make me feel safe. Can I exchange them for this pepper spray?
No problem. The Crazy Store. Our quality promise means we'll replace or refund any of our products that you are not happy with.
It's more than just a day at the races. It's a celebration of South African sound and soul. At the 129th Hollywood Bets Durban July, the party starts with Zolani Mahola's powerful performance of the national anthem and keeps going with Lira, Mafiki Zolo, Good Luck, DJ Zintle, Hot Water, Lee Cole, Matt Davies and Tim Lewis, Sunset Switch Shop and DJ Deluxe. Racing action, fashion, music, dancing. The marvels of Mzansi come to life on Saturday, 5th July at Hollywood Bets Greyville Racecourse. Be part of the celebration. Get your tickets now at Ticket Pro. The Hollywood Bets Durban July, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event.
702 and the Dis-Chem Foundation are shining the spotlight on the health matters you want to know more about. Here's what we explored this month.
Well, every time they swipe their benefit cards, they certainly are assisting with all the work that we do. We've just put together a beautiful partnership with Hisense, and they've gifted us a whole lot of washing machines.
Oh, fabulous.
And we'd like to give 2 of those to your 2 facilities in Cape Town. And on top of that, we'd like to give health and hygiene products.
That will come in handy because the youth are staying with us. We've got laundry and so on. So these machines.
The laundry leads are spectacular.
In Conversation on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman. Brought to you by the Dis-Chem Foundation. Caring for the community on 702.
702 Afternoons.
With Relebogile Mabotja.
19 minutes after 1 o'clock, and we are continuing with our youth takeover as we have not 1 but 2 budding radio hosts in studio, Khanya, Ramahali, as well as Gerhard, Maritz. And we're just getting to know them. Show your love, 011-883-0702, the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. We already touched on how the both of you found out about coming here, but I want to start with you, Gerhard, in terms of you guys started yesterday and you've sort of been given a tour. You also got to see the side of our sister station. You've met the programming's managers and things. What are the 3 things that you have sort of learned from the experience so far that you didn't know before?
So, first of all, I know that radio is fast-paced and you always have to find out what the newest thing is.
Yes.
But I have never seen it being done so quickly. Like, it's like you hear something in 10 seconds and then in the next 30 seconds, it's on air.
Yes.
And the amount of people working on it and working together, only for one person to be on air or maybe 5 people to be on air is insane. Because most people just think, oh, you're sitting in front of a mic and you are pressing your mic on the on button and then you just speak as freely as you want. But there is so much more that goes on to it. So that is probably my first take on it. My second take is preparation is so important. The amount of papers that are being put in front, the amount of thought that goes into stuff, the amount of research that goes into stuff. It's as if you're planning a movie for 2 hours that is just speaking. Trying to paint this picture in people's minds. And probably the third one is multitasking that I see you do a lot.
Don't expose me to the listeners with what I was doing.
I won't tell them everything, but what you have to know is she is doing amazing. She's doing so many stuff at the same time. And it's actually just really inspiring to see what you do and still be able to keep your head just in a straight line and knowing what to say and when to say it.
I'll expose myself. I was ordering groceries. While ordering groceries, trying to tell somebody at home something. But my advice to the both of me was, don't do what I do because I'm 12 years in. And I spoke to you guys yesterday about muscle memory. Okay. Khanya, 3 things that you've learned so far.
Sure, that's an interesting question, Relebogile. Number 1 would just be yourself. You know, in this generation, there are just so many ideas of who people think we are. And just so many people have ideas of us, of ourselves in their minds. And then, you know, we just want to have to fill in that gap, you know. But honestly, I think we don't really find ourselves. We create ourselves. And honestly, people could relate to who you are specifically, you know. And yeah, just be yourself. It's all about having fun, you know, feeling the vibe. And number 2 would also be multitasking. No, listeners, I don't think you understand the amount of multitasking. It is absolutely insane. You know, not only does it require skill, focus, it also requires you to be honest, be real with the listeners, you know. So those are the ones. Those are my points. Yeah.
Okay, and Gerhard, which host did you get to spend time with today? So one of the things, just so that all the listeners know, I am fully aware that I have my own style of doing things. Hence, I was like the kids. We refer to you guys as a team as our children for the day. So the kids for the day must spend time with other hosts so you can see how other hosts do it, especially because different formats require different things. So Gerhard, tell me about who else you spent time with and what you learned or what you observed.
So I spent time with 3 other hosts, but the one that stood out for me, and I only had a half an hour with her, was Miss Wiener, that did the show just before this one. And she's just so knowledgeable in what she does. She exactly knows what's going on. She knows something that happens 10 seconds ago. Her producers are insanely quick to send her information. And I just don't know how they do this. And my mind is just trying to turn around in the circle and I'm not getting to a point because it's a circle. It just never stops. And it's just, I'm just going to say it again. It's so inspiring. Like, if I can do this, I'm a real perfectionist. So I want that stuff to be like perfect triangle, put it in my box. But yeah, you can't have a box.
There's no time for that. I mean, you also got an opportunity to see the breakfast show, Bongani Bingwa and Clement Manyatela. What were 1 or 2 advices that were shared with you?
interviewing is very important.
Yes.
To which questions to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Never try and have dead air, obviously. So when someone speaks, try and always get something out of them that is more than just the question you have asked. Try and lengthen your question. Don't read off the paper, oh, I have these questions that I want to ask them. Get that question, expand it. If you hear something interesting, let me get that. Let me hear from you. I just heard this. Can you explain this further for me? Put this in a more higher or perspective for me to understand. So that is really something that stood out in the breakfast show for me.
Okay, and can you tell the difference between how my journalist colleagues who are hosts have a different way of doing things versus how I do things?
For sure.
Yeah.
The journalist colleagues has a very heavy tone, but not so heavy that you feel like, I need to stop listening, or I need to get out of my car now. It's more of they give you the information needed with one light-hearted thing coming in. Oh, let's put maybe a joke here. Obviously inbound, not to suppress the seriousness of a situation, but also lifting the spirits a bit so that you don't feel so put down or just don't want to listen to something. And then where you as it's almost only lighthearted and also topics and interviews that people want to hear about stuff. Like yesterday you did a show on Ushaka.
Yes.
And you just talked with the executive producers and the writers, and there was just questions on questions on questions and stuff that we didn't know about, and that you just kept getting out. And it's amazing. Like finding out stuff about the show that you would never find out without having these interviews with them.
So the tip I'd give you from everything you've said is, especially if a person's being interviewed that's done a million interviews before on the same subject, is what can I get out that nobody else has gotten out of this, if that makes sense. So with yesterday, Shaka Ilembe has been spoken about at length. My job was to now say, okay, cool. Let's assume there are people who've listened to every single interview. What can I get out of these individuals that no one else has asked or gotten out of them? So that's tip number one for you. All right, Khanya, who did you spend time with? And tell me what you learned.
My favorite experience was with Bongani.
Yes.
He not only was on top of his structure, the schedule, the comms, not only that, but he was also able to make a good relationship with the people he was interviewing, and in which he met for the first time. He was able to make them feel something, not just the interviewers, but the people listening. I feel like radio is all about making people feel something. You shape the way in which people think. And that for me was the biggest thing. That's real power.
And how did you find, because Clement Manyatella's show is also long form like mine, where we have more time to have like lengthy conversations. We can take a bit of our time as opposed to quick drive. What did you learn from observing how he does his show? And keep in mind, all the colleagues that you have met and will meet are all actual journalists. I'm the odd baby out. Yes.
Clement's show was amazing, firstly. Big shout out to him. I would like to say he was also really good in making who he was interviewing feel something. I'd like to go back to what Gerhard said with taking as much information as he could have in that exact moment. And in interviewing, what Clement taught me was you are not only representing yourself, but you're representing a whole collective of people that also have questions. So you're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about a whole lot of people and questions. And that's why it's important that you listen. Listen not to understand. Listen to understand
yes.
And also ask questions based on what they said, Now that is the power of Now that's a real interview.
Yes.
When you listen to what they said and then you ask questions based on, what they say.
Were you nervous at the fact that I don't work with a script? Did that make you guys nervous? As in, like,
No.
Does that mean we have to go into something blindly? because I have paper in front of me, but, well, you guys saw how I do things yesterday.
Yes, I believe the first question I asked was, where did your questions come from for the interview?
My mind.
I didn't believe I asked you. I asked someone else.
Yes.
I asked, did she have questions prepared? They said, no. And I was completely silent. I didn't know what to say. And your knowledge of getting to the interviews without not really, it doesn't mean that you don't know about the people that are interviewing. But of course you have to do your research behind it. And just to get those questions out and knowing when to ask them as well, to lead up to more questions, having follow-up questions, not just having a question that has a stale end, but a question that leads to another, and then leads to another, and then leads to another.
I will tell you guys my tricks, but also give you your assignments. When we come back, it's just after 1:30. Time for your latest and eyewitness news headlines. What is the latest on the Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition?
Well, Relebogile, a very good afternoon. President Cyril Ramaphosa has fired Andrew Whitfield as the Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition today. In a short statement, his office thanked Whitfield for his service, providing no reason for that removal. Whitfield was one of two deputy ministers who was serving under Minister Parks Dawu. The DA has suffered yet another blow, this time in Tshwane, where its motion of no confidence against Council Speaker Mncedi Nzwanana has failed. Councillors voted on the motion this afternoon, with the majority supporting Nzwanana to remain in his role. Nzwanana, the sole ATM councillor in Tshwane, has occupied the position for over 2 years now. And government has officially declared the deadly floods in the Eastern Cape a national disaster. That announcement was made by Eastern Cape Cocta MEC Zolile Williams during a briefing in Mthatha this afternoon. The floods were previously classified as a disaster, but have now been formally gazetted under the Disaster Management Act. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 2 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Kempton Park, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the R21 southbound. That's heading towards OR Tambo International Airport, heading towards Olifantsfontein Road. There's also slow-moving traffic in the Midrand Centurion area. That's on the N1 southbound between Brakfontein and Samrand. Also leaving the Joburg CBD, traffic is a bit sluggish. That's on the M1 south through the double-decker section. And there's also slow-moving traffic. That's in the Amalgam Selby area on Main Reef Road between Nazareth Road and the M2. If you come across any other traffic issues, please SMS us on 31702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
Daybreak Foods Poultry Farm. The state-funded agribusiness near Delmas in Mpumalanga was recently investigated by the NSPCA after it emerged that more than 1 million of its birds had been left to starve due to alleged neglect and mismanagement. Just explain to me, how was it the PIC's fault that you starved the chickens?
Order, you cannot operate a company without working capital. We were set up to fail from day one. They undermined our skin color.
Because fellow Mabotja, we're going to have to leave it there.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
It's that time of the year, and this winter is gearing up to be colder than ever. Don't stress, Takeover is getting you all cozied up with savings of up to 45% off winter home essentials. From the kitchen to your bedroom and all around home improvements, you can get it all online and delivered for free on the same day with Takeover More. Download the Takeover app to get everything you need this winter.
Hi, I'm Lewis Hamilton. Victory demands everything, but the journey is never solo. My team carves the way, data and innovation are my compass. This is how today's champions are made.
Drive your success and trade like a champion. CFI, a global leading broker now in South Africa. Access over 15,000 instruments, advanced trading tools, 24/7 support, and superior trading services. Visit cfi.trade today. CFI Financial is an authorized financial services provider.
CFI, empower yourself.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it. Our massive annual sale is finally here. Get to Dilabeg today for up to 33% off a selection of our best brands, like the 40 Winks Extra Firm Active Zone Queen Set, reduced to only 11,999. Shop in-store or online right now. Plus, get fast delivery on our best sellers. Dilabeg, sleep for life.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 is looking for a small business owner that talks a big game and delivers even bigger results. So, if you're a small business that consistently dares to innovate, expand, and better your bottom line, you could walk away with 200,000 Rand cash and a 200,000 Rand advertising package. So, enter on igniteyourbusiness.co.za. Then every day this week from 6 a.m., catch 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa to find out if you're a finalist in Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. T's and C's apply. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Your voice.
Your life.
Your afternoon radio.
On 702 Afternoons.
With Relebogile Mabotja.
23 minutes to 2 o'clock, and we continue with our conversation in our youth takeover on 702 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. Your calls on 011 883 0702 in the WhatsApp line 072 702 on 702. We're joined by 20-year-old Gerhard Maritz, student at Takeover, as well as Khanya Ramahali, who is a student at St. Stithians Girls College. So we have been chatting, but I actually want to take a look at some of the feedback from the listeners. We have your voice notes on 072 702 1702.
Relebogile, it's Marlon in Bryanston. That guy, Gerhard, sounds like a young Anthony Teixeira. Nice choice, guys. Nice, good luck.
Hi, Relebogile. Absolute brilliant initiative you guys are doing. And to your children for the afternoon. Yes, another thing that I've learned about interviewing, especially when you've got a listenership, you've got a lot of people listening. There is some information that is not publicly known that you perhaps you yourself know already. But sometimes you can ask a question, even if you know the answer, just because you want the public to hear it. You want to share that information with the public, and coming from the person you are interviewing. Ralph in Boxburg.
Thank you so much. And a message on the WhatsApp line. One says, I think one thing that your youth takeover guest did not say about you, Relebogile, is that you're so beautiful, Temba in Rustenburg. Thank you so much, Temba. And if you want to see what the kids look like, our children for today and tomorrow, head over to our YouTube channel. We are streaming live. Another one says, Relebogile and the team, I wish to take my hat off to you in 702. I hope every sector of society is learning from you, particularly the government, political parties and societies in general. The ANC used to have a similar system called second layer leadership, and I don't know what happened to it for where we are today. We should invest in our youth, them youth, and you will have a prosperous future. Okay, are the two of you ready to be in school?
Yes.
Because I'm your mentor now, right? Okay, here are some things that I'm going to teach you. And everybody listening, this is almost your radio 101. What did you notice that I do when I come on air or when I come from an ad break? Can any of you say? Okay. So the first thing I do when we come out of an ad break or I come on air is a time check. Time check. So I'll always say 20 minutes to 2 o'clock. Welcome to 7:02 afternoon. I never just start and say, hi, welcome. The first thing I do when I get on air is look at the clock and I'll say 7 minutes past 1 o'clock. Welcome to 7:02. So the clock, hence we have one, two clocks in the studio. With you being able to see the seconds, you need to be able to give a time check. The second thing you need to do is introduce yourself and your show, because you never know if there's a new listener joining. You can never assume that everybody knows who you are. Hence, I will keep reminding. And I'm sure you picked up yesterday when we were doing the masterclass, how much time it took that in 1 hour, we had 4 spot breaks that we referred to where the ads play. Every time we come back, I have to say the time. I have to remind people what they're listening to and who I am. Then I have to say who I'm talking to and what we're talking about. And it feels tedious for those of us that are on air because you're like, I just want to keep the conversation going. But you never know who's tuning in and when. So something that you'll notice is when messages come through, if you did forget, they'll be like, who's the guest? They'll start to say, because sometimes people tune in. Then the other thing, which is very important, is saying the numbers and how people can get in touch. So you see how I'll say, now it's 19 minutes to 2 o'clock. You're on 7:02 afternoons with Relebogile Mabotja. This is who we're talking to. I'm talking to Gerhard and I'm talking to Khanya. Why am I talking to them? It's the youth takeover. So I give context again because now some people only tuned in from past. I need to remind them what we're doing, why we're doing it, so that you get everybody's reinvestment. Then I say, get in touch with us. So what I do, and this is my own personal choice, top of the show, which is like top of the hour will always be, if you're looking at the face of a clock, top of the hour is o'clock or straight after news, and bottom of the hour is past because the hand would be at the bottom of the clock. So what I will always do at the top of the show, I'll give all the contact information and I've memorized it, hence I don't look anywhere. So I'll just say 011 8830702, the WhatsApp line 0727021702. I do the shortened version when we come back in the middle of the show. But at the top, I do everything including social media. Make sense? There's certain things also that are key things, like when you're doing interviews. So if you're interviewing an expert on anything, let's say we are doing autism awareness and a guest comes in to talk about some of the new research in medication or treatment, always leave the listeners with something they can take away. And that's usually where can they get more information. Make sense?
Nice. Yeah.
So we'll say, thank you so much for joining us, Gerhard. How can people get in touch with you? Because people will always want to get in touch with the guests and we won't necessarily have enough time to get to go through everybody's questions. And because of protection of information, it's easy if they're giving the information. And even when guests try to give a cell phone number, we discourage them and say, give an email address, because then we'll have 10 people mailing saying, how do I get in touch with the guest? Then you can also say, if let's say we're talking about addiction, a gambling addiction or depression, you say, for those of you that need help, the responsible gambling website is this for you to get help. Or here are the details for the suicide hotline. So always give information that when the conversation is over, the listeners have something to take with them. Then, so it's time check. It's reminding people who they're listening to or station identity. It's your name. It sounds tedious. It feels tedious. You get used to saying your name over and over, but that's to remind people because sometimes they don't know who you are. And then on top of that, I've spoken about the clock. You've touched on the being yourself. Bring yourself. This is what I want to say. The bring yourself is sometimes when you put forward a conversation or what we refer to as a talker. That's our internal language. A talker is something that you would frame as a question that will elicit engagement from your listeners. So let's say the talker is, who are you at the family braai? What role do you play? So instead of me, when I say to my producer, let's talk about braais and roles that people play. The first thing you need to do is frame it as a question, because that's how you get people to engage. So you'll say, who are you at the family braai? You've put out the question. Then maybe give context as to why you're asking this question. Well, Heritage Day is coming up, and we know lots of South Africans treat it as a braai day. They will be braaiing. And then this is another brilliant trick for radio. Mention your own experience. You can say, well, look, I am the one making salads. And don't ask me to make the pap, don't ask me to clean, but the salads, I will give you 9 different salads. Make sense? So if we are to put that into a bit of an acronym, it's CEIRT. And this, of course, is school for everybody that's listening as well. C stands for content. Content. Something I learned from doing overnight radio or graveyard radio, that in 4 hours, you need to be able to talk to yourself, because only 1% of listeners around there actually call into a radio station. Did you guys know that?
Sure.
Very few. So content is everything, which means at any given moment, if you can't get hold of your guest, if their battery dies, if things turn around, you always have content to build off of. Now, with social media being what it is, what I used to do is mark articles online. But now you can bookmark TikTok videos, you can bookmark tweets, you can bookmark wherever you find your information from. So if there's a change that needs to happen, you always have content. And you're comfortable, even if you don't have to be an expert on it, but you're comfortable enough to talk about the content. The second one is emotion. You mentioned it, how you make your listeners feel. So I try to be, in general, very intentional with my content, which is hold safe space for people to laugh like no one's watching, but also sometimes we cry together. Sometimes we've announced the death of somebody who is well loved. And sometimes you already are noticing I'll say to my producer sometimes, it's a very heavy news day. Let's definitely go with something light, even though we were planning to do this topic. So you must always have content ready and be flexible with your content. Emotion, I touched on how you make people feel. The interaction, that's your important thing. The interaction, the engagement, because we're not here to do monologues. We are here to engage with one another. And then we have the rhythm, which speaks to the pacing that you brought up. Pacing is everything. Some conversations do require you to slow it down a little bit. And you can even see. So if I'm talking about something very sensitive, this is how I speak. And I will say this is a very sensitive subject. We're talking about Mother's Day, and we're aware that so many of you have lost your mothers. So many of you were supposed to be mothers and you lost your children. See what I'm saying? Pace, that is appropriate. The last one is trust. How do you build trust? By being consistent, by being yourself, and being human about what your experience is. So, are you guys ready to find out what your task is going to be?
Yeah, let's go for
it.
Ready.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so you guys are going to be sticking around for us to do our Belief Matters feature. I'll each give you a turn to ask a question, and the listeners will give feedback about how they feel about it. But even better is that tomorrow I'm giving each of you one of my features to yourself. That's going to be the assignment.
Khanya,
yes.
We're
So
gonna do
each
this.
of you are being given a feature to have to yourselves. And I did tell you yesterday that you should listen to some of the podcasts. So what I have in front of me, because Fridays are fun days here, I have a bowl of features in here. On a Friday, we do food, we do 702 Unplugged, and oh, by the way, I must tell you guys, I got nominated for something to do with that. I will tell you guys tomorrow with Unplugged. We've got 702 Unplugged, and we've got the Upside of Failure. Now we have a young guest joining us for the Upside of Failure. I will interview them for Upside of Failure, and then you guys will join me again. So I've got in front of me a bowl. I'm going to start mixing. According to alphabetical order, Gerhard, you are first.
Okay. Well,
So
do we do a
got
drum
this.
roll?
Yes, you can. Do a drum roll.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, Gerhard, you are going to be taking the food feature. You're going to be taking over the food feature tomorrow. And Khanya, that means that you are going to be taking over Unplugged tomorrow.
Nice.
Which
Nice.
means I will be here to continue operating and to do the commercial parts like ad breaks and all of those things. But Once I hand over, I'm going to introduce the show, remind everybody who you are. The feature is yours. Okay. That means you guys need to prep your questions. You must do all your own prep. Pashida's going to give you the bare minimum as the producer.
Mm-hmm.
So you have till tomorrow. You're going to look at everybody's like mouths wide open. What? I'm giving them. So I will be here as a support for absolutely both of you. But I think it's so important. And the exciting thing is our upside of failure guest for tomorrow is Zuleika Patel, who's an activist and an author. So I will have a 30-minute chat with her, and then we'll open up the lines, and all four of us will sit together and talk about youth issues in the country. How does that sound?
Amazing.
It sounds
Love
amazing.
it. Nervous?
Like a mountain in front of us, but we're going to climb it.
You're going to
We're gonna
climb it.
it.
Are you nervous?
Of course.
You should be. You
Of
should
course.
be. All right. Coming up, we have Belief Matters.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons.
3 to 6.
As you went about looking at what's been done, or more realistically, what hasn't been done, what explanation of authorities, either provincial, national, or district officials, offered for why they haven't taken a step that they committed to taking?
So incidentally, the Department of Basic Education, the South African Council of Educators, various provincial departments of education, all committed to responding to the findings in this report, and none of them actually responded. There's been a lack of coordination between different government departments.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
This game day, Checkers is bringing the fire. They've got SA's #1 boerewors and South Africa's favorite steak. Plus, save extra on a half lamb for 119.99 cents per kilo. Knox sparkling hydration drinks, any two for 28 Rand. And Simba potato chips, 3 for 48 Rand. You save 15 Rand. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest.
Get to Dis-Chem for big electrical savings. The more you buy, the more you save. Enjoy incredible discounts on participating brands like Philips, Dequip, Reflections, and Russell Hobbs. Get 25% off when you buy one electrical product, 30% off when you buy two, and buy any 3 or more and get a huge 35% off each. Don't miss out. Big electrical savings end 13 July. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners. And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services, plus My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
We are woven into the same soil that shapes South Africa. Its dreams, its energy, its promise. These guide us. Together, we've built progress hand in hand, from the mines to bustling main streets, from one generation to the next. With communities, government, and partners, every initiative from healthcare to education, youth empowerment to entrepreneurship lights the way forward. Because we don't just mine minerals, we mine possibility and progress with purpose. Together, we're shaping what's next, mining potential, building beyond. Anglo-American.
This Youth Month, the Sea's Roar finds a new voice as the Two Oceans Aquarium Foundation, in partnership with Prime Media Cares, give the youth of our nation the opportunity to speak for the sea. Proudly presenting Ocean FM on primemediaplus.com, where the mic is put in the hands of the next generation. They will be talking tides, turtles, and the urgent call to protect our coastal heritage, only on Sunday, the 29th of June, from 12 to 3 p.m., only on primemediaplus.com.
702.
Belief Matters.
Exploring culture, traditions, religion,
and the beliefs that shape our world.
6 minutes to 2 o'clock. It's time for our Belief Matters feature. And today we're talking about why the 4-leaf clover is considered lucky. Your calls with your questions on 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. And we are joined by Janine Preston, travel writer and digital nomad, for this conversation. Janine, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Cold weather. We may as well be an island, because, I mean, that's where the 4-leaf clover comes from, and the weather comes from here.
So if we join the two, we get a 4-leaf clover in Joburg.
I see, Janine. So I just want to give you a heads up. I'm in studio with two young people who are getting an opportunity to get some time on a commercial radio station. As we are talking in our feature, we've got Gerhard and Khanya. They will also get a chance to ask you a question. But let me kick off, Janine, and just ask, for as long as I can recall, having gone to a very British direction type of school, the 4-leaf clover, we would do stuff on what is the holiday called? With the
on the
leprechaun?
17th of March, which
Yes,
is
St. Patrick's Day. That's the one. But just give us the basic history of why it's considered lucky.
Well, 4-leaf clovers are very rare. And because clovers are really grown in Ireland, it comes from there. Because that and the shamrock both are, if you like, beliefs that come out of Ireland. So it's mostly an Irish thing. The shamrock, of course, being a different type, but the 4-leaf clover is very rare. You can find lots of 3-leaf clovers, but you can't find any 4 ones. And they're grown on their own. So if you come across it, it stands on its own. And it basically represents hope, faith, love, and luck.
Oh, so I absolutely love that.
That's why there's the four leaves of the clover. And of course, it's not sort of proven, it's just a belief. The nice thing about 4-leaf clovers is that you can look for them. If you find a clover patch, you can actually dig amongst the clovers to find a 4-leaf. If you find it, it is believed to bring you lots of luck. So you'll see on online forums on the 17th of March, they'll always have this 4-leaf clover will bring you luck. And
all
that's
right.
where it comes from.
Yes. Gerhard, you've got a question.
I indeed do. So I know that the 4-leaf clover is because of a genetic mutation. So that's why it is a 4-leaf clover. And it is grown in soil that is perfect in some stages and perfect environmental factors. So that's why I believe it's so rare, if I'm correct. Now, if you would plant a lot of clovers and make this perfect environment at home, let's say in a greenhouse, would you be able to grow your own 4-leaf clover?
Ooh.
Actually, I don't know the answer to that. Never been asked that question before.
Yeah, we've given you homework, Janine. I love it. So let's do this before we run out of time. Khanya's got a question.
Now, Janine, there are 4 seasons in life, right? And
correct.
There is 4 leaves on a clover, correct?
Well, it's hope, faith, love, and luck. It's basically what the 4 leaves.
Now,
beyond the 4th one is the luck one because you can't. It's very rare to find a 4-leaf clover.
Sure. Now, beyond folklore and luck, what do you believe the 4-leaf clover symbolizes spiritually? And why do you think it continues to hold meaning across cultures and generations?
Janine's is earning her keep today.
I think because people like to hold onto something that may be a talisman or maybe some sort of religious connotation. So what we do is we believe in luck. That's why there's a fourth leaf. But also it gives us something to hope for. Because if you find one, you know that it's lucky. It's like winning the lottery.
Nice.
So I think that especially being associated with the 17th of March, which is St. Patrick's Day, it really gives us a reason to celebrate. Because, how often do you find a reason to celebrate? Let's celebrate because we found a 4-leaf clover.
I love that.
Make it just amazing.
Janine, we're going to have to let you go because we have just completely run out of time. But thank you so much for speaking to us. Listeners, you heard the questions that our budding hosts ask. Let us know what you think.
Invest in peace of mind with the water tank from CashBuild. Store water for your garden, your home, your family, and save every drop. We have tanks of all sizes built to last so you can have water on demand. Plus, CashBuild offers free local delivery. Get your water tank at CashBuild today and start saving. CashBuild, quality building materials, tools, paint, and hardware at the lowest prices. CashBuild.
It's that time of the year, and this winter is gearing up to be colder than ever. Don't stress. Takealot is getting you all cozied up with savings of up to 45% off winter home essentials. From the kitchen to your bedroom and all around home improvements, you can get it all online and delivered for free on the same day with Takealot More. Download the Takealot app to get everything you need this winter.
For over 40 years, we've stood with the artists, championing the arts in all their forms. Now we unveil the next chapter, the Standard Bank Art Lab, a new gallery space where bold ideas take center stage. Opening with a celebration of tapestry, because like these woven masterpieces, the arts are woven into who we are. Step inside, let the art move you, grow you. Standard Bank, proud lead B20 sponsor. Authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Mom, Dad, you're not gonna believe this.
What's up, bud?
Luke's family has a kitchen.
Okay.
Like a real one, with knives and a sink for dishes. His mom was just standing there, making food with her hands. There was a fridge full of vegetables, even broccoli.
Not broccoli.
Oh, the horror. Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia, connecting the Thai way.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. DA Federal Chairperson Helen Ziller has called an urgent executive meeting for this afternoon. It comes just hours after President Cyril Ramaphosa fired Andrew Whitfield as Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition. In a short statement, Ramaphosa's office thanked Whitfield for his service, providing no reason for that removal. Whitfield was one of two deputy ministers serving under Minister Park Stawu. He was appointed just over a year ago when the DA joined the ANC-led government of national unity. The announcement follows speculation that the president would be announcing a cabinet reshuffle today. Ramaphosa's spokesperson Vincent Pagwenya says the president is not planning a wholesale reshuffle. Let's stay with the DA. The party has suffered yet another blow, this time in Tshwane, where its motion of no confidence against Council Speaker Mncedi Nzwanana has failed. Councillors voted on the motion this afternoon, with the majority supporting Nzwanana to remain in his role. Nzwanana, the sole ATM councillor in Tshwane, has occupied that position for 2 years now. Alfara Mushwana is there.
The ANC-led coalition in the Tshwane City Council has backed ATM councillor Mncedi Nzwanana. With the council consisting of 214 seats, the DA needed at least 108 votes for its motion of no confidence to succeed. However, the coalition made up of the ANC, EFF and Action SA holds the majority, which was enough to keep Nzwanana in his position. Councillor Naima Patel announces the results.
Honourable Councillors, the results of the vote on Councillor Mazipatela's motion are as follows. For 82, against 114, abstain 1.
This comes just a day after the DA's motion of no confidence against Joburg Mayor Tata Murero and Council Whip Thembiso Zungu also fell flat. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
We shift our focus to this now. Government has officially declared the deadly floods in the Eastern Cape a national disaster. The announcement was made by Eastern Cape Cocta MEC Zolile Williams during a media briefing in Mthatha today. The floods were previously classified as a disaster, but have now been formally gazetted under the Disaster Management Act. The declaration paves the way for national government intervention, including additional funding, technical support and emergency resources. The move follows a comprehensive damage assessment with infrastructure losses estimated at around 5 billion rand. So far, the death toll is at 101 and is expected to rise as search and recovery operations continue. Williams says the province can now work to fast-track its recovery.
The declaration made in terms of the Disaster Management Act, number 57 of 2002, comes amid heavy rainfall, flooding, strong winds and snowfall that have battered parts of the country, with the Eastern Cape being the hardest hit.
The ANC believes government has achieved a majority of ideals contained in the Freedom Charter, leaving out land reform and economic transformation. Today, the party is holding a commemorative event at the Walter Sisulu Square in Kliptown, Soweto, where the Freedom Charter was adopted. This was done during the Congress of the People 70 years ago. Tabiso Koba has more.
The Freedom Charter was drawn up as a blueprint to what a democratic South Africa should look like, a non-racial state where everyone's vote counts and all people share in the country's wealth. ANC Deputy Secretary General Nomvula Mokonyane says that has been partly achieved.
Every clause of the Freedom Charter, boldly, we can say South Africans are the beneficiaries of all the clauses, albeit not everything has been touched. The most stubborn is the clause that talks about the economy, the sharing of the wealth.
Mokonyane says the country's land restitution program has not been successful, which is why the Expropriation Act was recently signed into law. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News, Kliptown in Soweto.
And in the UK, weight loss injections have been linked to hundreds of people falling ill and 10 deaths. Health officials have now launched an investigation into the side effects of weight loss drugs such as Ozempic, saying hundreds of people have reported problems with their pancreas. While none have been proven to be the direct cause, which are also used to treat diabetes, there are fears that there is not enough knowledge about the links. Officials say the investigation will help to generate evidence for safer and more effective treatment through more personalized approaches to prescription. Gold is trading at $3,341.43 an ounce. The rand is at 17.69 to the dollar, 24.32 to the pound, 20.64 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.68 a barrel.
Kempton Park, we still have bumper-to-bumper traffic on the R21 southbound. That's heading towards OR Tambo International Airport. Also, Midrand Centurion area, there's slow-moving traffic. N1 south between Brakfontein Road and Samrand. And in the city of Joburg, there's slow-moving traffic leaving the CBD. This is on Main Reef Road between Anderson and Nasrec Road.
The top story in EWN. DA Federal Chairperson Helen Zille has called an urgent executive meeting for this afternoon, hours after the President fired Andrew Whitfield as a Deputy Minister.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
What are the matters that matter to you?
702 listens.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja.
Live, streaming countrywide.
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 2 o'clock. It's the second and final hour of 702 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. And we jump straight into our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows with Wendy Nola. We're going to have a couple of issues that we cover. Don't worry, our youth are still in studio. They are observing, they are watching, and they're getting an opportunity to learn. They're very nervous for the assignments that they've been given, which will be the food feature for tomorrow and 702 Unplugged. And make sure that all of you tune in for that. But for now, get in touch with us, 011-883-0702. SMS us 31702. Tweet at Relebogile M, at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702.
Nola Knows.
Time for our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows with Wendy Nola, on a Thursday. As we do all of your consumer rights issues, today is a big one. We know that there are some regularly recurring themes on the show, and as Wendy does her best to take on all of the cases that she does, we bring them here. 011-883-0702, the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. Happy Thursday, Wendy. How are you?
And to you, Relebogile, I'm great, thank you. Lots to digest and grapple with in today's show.
Definitely.
As you said, under the banner Dodgy Cars. But I just wanted to get something out of the way that relates to something that happened on last week's show towards the end during our open lines section. You'll remember a listener called in to complain that she'd returned something she'd bought with a debit card, and the retailer had refused to refund to her card, saying that she had to rather wait until the end of the day to get a cash refund. And I said, no, that's not okay. She should get the cash immediately. But I said, based on interactions I'd had with the Payments Association of South Africa in the past, quite a long time ago, admittedly, I said that PASA, the Payments Association, says that refunds to debit cards are tricky, complicated, can take time, and that the retailers shouldn't refund to debit cards. Afterwards, PASA contacted me to say that there was, as they put it, slightly more nuance to this issue. They said, depending on the debit card, the two different kinds of debit cards, right, it may or may not be possible. PASA rules allow for refunds to debit cards, if it's possible, presumably, but it's up to the merchant whether they choose to use this route if available. PASA does not, at present, either encourage or discourage refunds to debit cards. We simply note the complexities. Okay, so I don't know if that helps or make things a little bit more complicated, but I thought on the record I need to just state what PASA had said. So we can move on to our main story of the day now. With that dispensed.
And thank you so much for giving us that feedback, Wendy. So what is the tip that we need to maybe take from that story?
Well, I think if you've made a purchase on a debit card and you take it back, the first thing to understand is, and this is the complication that I bring, is that if there's nothing wrong with the product and the company doesn't not obliged to take it back at all. If they're taking it back, they have complete discretion. So if they don't want to refund to your debit card, you can't force them to, as long as if they're going to give you a refund, you get it in some form, right? But they can refuse to take it back at all. If the product's defective, though, they must take it back. If you want a refund, they must refund you. And I would just, if they're pushing back, just ask them for reasons why, call the manager and say, what's the story here?
Yes.
But as PASA says, you can't force them. It's up to them whether they want to do it or not, but they must refund you in some way, and they mustn't make you wait. They must refund you in whatever way they want to, there and then. Sending you away and making you come back is not okay. I think that's the best advice I can give with all the information available.
Okay, thank you so much, Wendy, for that feedback. Let's jump then into this first story. But I actually am thinking that we should take our first break now so that when we delve into it, I don't interrupt you, Wendy. So let's take a break. And when we come back, we will pick up on one of the most common problems that come up in this consumer rights feature, dodgy cars and dealings.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be?
The man who's the life of the party, even when he doesn't attend.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin high-performance supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and vitamin.co.za.
Vitamin. Don't get older. Get better.
Need the right tools to run your small business? With Nedbank, you get the latest Visa, MasterCard, and Amex accepting card payment device delivered to you within 48 hours. Enjoy getting your payments straight into your Nedbank account on the same day. Plus, you could get 100% back on the purchase price of the device. Apply on the Nedbank Money app today. Join the bank that's best for your small business. Nedbank, licensed financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
It is said that he finished university when he was 7, and when he turned 10, his parents moved out. He once won a rodeo competition, riding an elephant, and he drives a tank. Discover the GWM Tank 300 Turbo Diesel from $8,099 per month. Visit gwm.coza for T's and C's and to book a test drive. Go with more. Go with the new GWM Tank 300 Diesel.
Dear Journal, day 3049 of trying to be an adult. I still haven't bought a recycling bin, so there's a mountain of cans in my kitchen that could collapse at any moment. Anyway, what's that saying about your home being a reflection of your mental state?
Got evicted from the family home? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's like 570 Rand a month, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Dive into a season of coziness with 20% off Granny Goose Duck Down duvets from At Home. For a limited time, shop this dream offer in Granny Goose and At Home stores or online at bash.com and get ready for a season of snuggling in. Exclusive to TFG Rewards members, T's and C's apply. At Home, imagine more.
As the official retail partner of the Springboks, Pick n Pay ASAP is proud to bring the pride of the nation to you and give you the chance to be the ultimate smart supporter. Money or the box on 702. WhatsApp your name, ID number and the word ASAP to 072 702 1702. You could face the ultimate choice, a mystery Springbok supporter prize or Pick n Pay ASAP vouchers worth up to 2,000 Rand. It's time to show your box spirit. Money or the box with Pick n Pay ASAP. Friday on 702 Drive with John Perlman. T's and C's on primemediaplus.com.
702.
Nola knows.
15 minutes after 2 o'clock, we continue with our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows, and we'll be taking your calls and your messages, comments and questions. 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. So Wendy, now we are kicking off another car saga.
We are. And I'm a spoiler alert. So far, there isn't a happy ending. I have to just put that out because this is a dire case. Right. So the dealership saw her coming. It was a cash purchase, and she lives in a different province. Cape Town woman, Relebogile Mabotja, she lives in Greenpoint. She saw a 2024 Moda C5 advertised by a Joburg dealer on Auto Trader for just under 300,000. She was assured it was in good condition. She trusted the dealer, and she paid for the car, another 8,000 Rand, to be transported via carrier to her in Cape Town. The moment it arrived, she could tell that something was very, very wrong with the car. This is someone who has no experience in the motor trade. She says, it in fact turned out to be so wrong, the bits that she couldn't actually see, i.e. the chassis, that she couldn't have it legitimately licensed in her name and she couldn't insure it. These kinds of deals happen every day in South Africa, and so we're going to talk about this one. And while the ads were playing, Relebogile, I kid you not, I opened my emails, checked, and there's one that's the same, almost the same as this one. This time I'll start reading it later. Okay, so this happened in March. Relebogile bought 24 Cherry. It's a Cherry brand, a Moda C5. She saw it on Auto Trader. The dealership today is Fox Auto of Westgate on the West Rand. And I think it's a good idea now to bring in Relebogile herself to tell us what she discovered very soon after this car was offloaded, as a person that really isn't an expert on finding faults and defects on a car.
Wendy, something's happening with your network?
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry. No, there was something that happened and I heard a dip. Relebogile is with us. Relebogile, how are you doing?
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing, Relebogile?
Good, thanks, and you?
Good.
Okay. So, Relebogile, please tell us this was going back 3 months now, end of March. So excited, paid for this car in full. It arrives after being driven down on a carrier from Joburg. What did you find?
I found the problem in the car that the next day, because it came at night, so I drove from where they dropped it. It was a traffic department down the road because there were no space here in my house. I drove the car, then I parked in the garage because it was raining. So what happened after that, I go upstairs, I sleep. In the next following day, I go to look at my new car. I was so excited. As I approached my car, I noticed that, no man, there is a scratch here they didn't tell me about. Then I will walk around. Then I saw at the back of the car also, I saw another scratches. Then I was worried, what is happening? Then I called them. Then they said, no, they didn't notice. I said, really? I'm not even inside the car. Me, myself, I am a woman. I don't know nothing about the car. But I saw straight away, then Gloria, the name, if I can say, she said, no, I didn't notice. Sorry. Then I go inside the car. It's nice inside, but I noticed the sunroof is not, there's something happened in the sunroof. Also, I asked about it. Then she said also she didn't notice. Then I wanted to change the number plate to my own number plate. Then when I'm changing it, they tell me the car is not roadworthy. I said, listen, how? Because I've got RC1, so how come the car is not roadworthy? And they said, is RC1 on your name? I said, yes, you can look. Then they said, no, we don't know what happened there, but the car you need to take it for roadworthy. Rightly so, and the following day I took it to roadworthy, then the car failed. Then after the car failed from roadworthy, I called them. I said, listen, they're asking, when did the car go for roadworthy, because they can't pick it up on the computer whatsoever. They gave me the date. I'm not sure now. It's on the thing. Then the lady said, no, something's not right because the car is not registered whatsoever. So I go to look. I take it to the nearest mechanic. I said to that man, can you check what is happening in this car? The guy told me straight. He said, listen, the best way I can tell you, take the car back to the dealership. To fix this car will cost you a new car. Then I look last week again. I don't know what makes me look in the disc of the car. I found out the disc of the car is expiring in December, which is I bought the car in March. The car is supposed to be expired next year for me, between April and March. Depends when I'm going to. You see, so I didn't know what to say because as I call you guys after I found out this thing, then I found out all these things. The car was in a smash and all that stuff. And before I pay, no one tell me that the car was on a smash.
Okay, so that's, if I can, sorry, Brielle, if I could jump in here, because that's the crux of this whole issue. You also got no spare key or service book, which are two major issues that I talk about a lot, which, you should walk away from a deal. But you in a nutshell, you were told the car was put through roadworthy and a license in your name, and there is an RC1, what us oldies used to call the logbook, the certificate of registration of a motor vehicle, and you didn't notice, and I didn't notice at first, that under vehicle statement on that document, which must have been acquired on the basis of some kind of roadworthy that wasn't legitimate, but still under the status, it says built up. And built up, the legal definition of that is constructed or assembled from parts, rebuilt, significantly modified, often after being declared permanently unfit for use during a severe accident, fire, or other damage, or after being deregistered, typically classified as a Code 3 vehicle on INATIS, which denotes that a vehicle has been rebuilt or reconstructed. It can, a rebuilt vehicle, a car that's been licensed as built up can be driven as long as it's got an acceptable certificate, a certificate of roadworthy, which in this case the car couldn't have done. I mean, you've tried to register it with your own plate, so they said no. So they've got a major chassis issue. Definitely not, which means you can't license it. Okay. So when you brought that, also I wanted to just say you only saw the certificate and the papers after you'd paid and after the car was on its way to you, right? So because they didn't want to give me, because I even asked them, where can you send the papers? They said, okay, we book the courier to bring it, to give it to you. I'm asking when, where? Then when it was already on the way, it's the time they send it. I think the paper came out 3 days or 4 days after the car was here. Okay, and so that's another bit of advice for people buying cars. You must see all the paperwork before you pay, or certainly before you see the car. You took this all. Obviously, you want Fox Auto to take the car back and give you your money back. How did they respond when you put that to them?
No, the man, he said, no, the car is roadworthy and there's nothing wrong with the car, and you can take it to any Omot that will tell you the car is registered and the car, nothing wrong about it. Then I said, what about the chassis? He said, it must be you hit the pavement or something. I said, I didn't even drive it. I didn't even drive the car. Where did they said, because I said to them, I need the car before Easter because I want to go to Eastern Cape. So in his mind, he thought I did go to Eastern Cape because he said, I said, you can look at the kilometers. It's still there. I didn't. If I use 50, it's a lot.
Okay. So Bielwa contacted me. I brought in the big gun in the form of someone regular listeners will be very familiar with, Malcolm KV of View for You. The company does full physical diagnostic and background checks on cars countrywide and other things. But let's stick with cars for today's show. And preferably they should be doing these checks before someone buys a car. But be that as it may, View for You began with a physical inspection of the car last week. I met them at Bielwa's house, and they certainly confirmed what she had seen. She hasn't mentioned that there was bits of red paint on the car is black, but she could see red paint. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to stand aside for a second. Let's speak to the expert. Malcolm, please join us.
Hey, Malcolm, how are you doing?
Too blessed to be stressed. How are you guys doing?
I love it. Too blessed to be stressed.
Okay, Malcolm, please take us through what your guys found on this car.
We found a lemon farm. We found a lemon juice. That car is terrible. That car is a piece of junk. There's nothing right about it. That car has been a terrible accident. You know, before we even got to see the pictures of how that car was, we could see that this car has been a mess, front, back, everywhere. Undercarriage, that car is just a mess.
Okay. And then through your contacts, bless you, you found out when the car was in an accident and you saw photos of it after it was written off by Santam and prior to it being auctioned by Auction Nation. So tell us about that. When was the accident, and did the images of that smashed up car confirm what your assessor had concluded based on what looks to be a very bad patch-up job?
100% yes, Wendy. The images did conclude. The images hit the nail on the head because they would have come and said to us just a small, smash here and there. Those images were spot on. I think I even shared the one image with you guys. It's terrible. And I can confirm the date of the accident was the 16th of August last year, 2024.
And I'm looking at one of the pictures, Malcolm and Bielwa and all our listeners, and what you said, Bielwa, about the sunroof. It's here, it's that top of that section of the roof is dented and the sunroof is sort of like jammed open. So, yes, it's no wonder there were problems with the sunroof. Okay. So I also noticed, Malcolm, that there was an image of the undercarriage of the car featuring a very big chunk of dry grass jammed in there. So presumably that car did some serious unintentional off-roading.
100%. That's what happened. It goes to show that the car was a mess. We even suspected that car definitely rolled. It did whatever, swing 4x4 tracking in the form of an accident. That is exactly what happened to that car. So, when I'm not sure if I can comment. Really, it's terrible. That dealer, I'm not sure if I can share a bit of our experience with that dealer. But if you will allow me to, I would welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So when Fox Auto is a dealer that we've said to clients, we do not even inspect vehicles anymore. They've threatened our lives. Not only have they done that, they've even taken our phones at one stage and said, you will not take photos of these cars. At the one time, they even threatened our clients because every single car we have inspected at that place has been a salvaged, messed up, damaged car. And we've said to everyone, before you go there, you need to ensure that you get your paperwork, get everything, like what you said. I love what you said. I was listening in just now, stating that get the paperwork first. People need to get into the habit of doing the paperwork sales before they even sign anything for a car. So that place is a no-go zone for us. And the sad part is, here's the sad part. The sad part is they're directly across the road from a police station.
Okay. But we have to go to news soon. Yeah, the irony. Before we go to news, Bulyewa, please join us and tell us, how did you feel when I shared those photos with you? There were about 6 or 7 photos, all angles, of your car that now looks, if you look very quickly with one eye, a nice shiny black car. How did you feel looking at those photos?
Best in tears.
Did you? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then,
Sure.
You see, I was writing something to you, I couldn't because I was in a state.
So what I'm going to do, Buyelwa, Malcolm, Wendy, I'm going to pause it here as we get ready to go to the news and we continue. When we come back, it's 2:30. Time for your latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. A very good afternoon. While President Cyril Ramaphosa's office has remained mum on reasons behind the axing of Andrew Whitfield as one of the deputy ministers of Trade and Industry, Eyewitness News can reveal that he's been accused of insubordination. This is linked to a trip he took along with his party, the DA, to Washington, D.C. without being granted permission by the president. In the south of Johannesburg, firefighters are responding to a blaze in and around the vicinity of the South African brewery's Baragwanath depot in Soweto. It's understood that the blaze spread to that facility after nearby grass caught fire. Storage crates at the depot have been the worst affected, but no injuries have been reported. And government has officially declared the deadly floods in the Eastern Cape a national disaster. The announcement was made by Eastern Cape Cocta MEC Zolile Williams during a briefing in Mthatha this afternoon. The floods were previously classified as a disaster but have now been formally gazetted under the Disaster Management Act. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 3 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this hour in the Tembisa area, traffic is heavily backed up on the R21 in both directions between Olifantsfontein Road and the R25 Paffontein off-ramp. There's also slow-moving traffic in the Midrand area. That's the N1 southbound between New Road and Allendale Road. Also slow-moving traffic. That's leaving the Sunning Hill area heading into Midrand on the N1 northbound between Allendale and the Betlu interchange. Also look out for faulty traffic lights. That's in the Edenvale area. Modderfontein Road and the N3 in Irene, Pretoria. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Maypierce Drive approaching Main Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please SMS us on 31702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
Good day, 702 listeners. My name is Mandla Mnyakeni. I am from Centurion. I love 702 because it is the source of reliable information for me. So when I wake up on daily basis, before I go to work, I listen to the station to get to know what's happening around the country, where I will be stuck on traffic, and everything that I need to know about the country as a whole. I listen to the station because I know for sure that I'm going to get reliable news. And yeah, for me, this is the only station that I can listen to. It is one of the best talk radios in the planet.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts,
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
This year, the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival invites you to 3 unforgettable days deep in the heart and art of jazz from the 26th to the 28th of September across 4 enchanting stages at the Sandton Convention Centre, where you will be mesmerized by world-renowned stars like Esperanza Spalding, Hakan Bassar Trio, Elaine Amanda Black, and over 50 other world-class acts. Take me there. Buy your tickets at Ticketmaster now.
Hey, honey, look. Went to the shops, like you asked, and it was the Deco Fern birthday sale. Picked up this amazing 3-seater sofa for only $5,599. And this coffee table, just $489. Oh, and this gorgeous standing mirror for like $699.
Wow, I just asked you to get some milk.
Get deals worth celebrating at Deco Furniture's epic birthday sale with 10 to 40% and more off everything in-store or online now at decofurnsa.co.za.
Checkers XXL Savings is on with the XXL Jackpot competition. The more SA swipes, the bigger the prize. Plus, save on Clover Butro Full Cream Butter Spread 500 grams, 2 for 149 Rand. And Baby Soft 2-ply toilet rolls 18-pack, any 2 for 249 Rand. Remember, simply buy any 3 participating products, swipe your extra savings card and get a scratch card to enter the competition. Deals valid until Sunday at Checkers.
We are woven into the same soil that shapes South Africa. Its dreams, its energy, its promise. These guide us. Together we've built progress, hand in hand, from the mines to bustling main streets, from one generation to the next. With communities, government and partners, every initiative from healthcare to education, youth empowerment to entrepreneurship lights the way forward. Because we don't just mine minerals, we mine possibility and progress with purpose. Together, we're shaping what's next. Mining potential, building beyond. Anglo-American.
This Youth Month, the sea's roar finds a new voice as the Two Oceans Aquarium Foundation, in partnership with Prime Media Cares, give the youth of our nation the opportunity to speak for the sea. Proudly presenting Ocean FM on primemediaplus.com, where the mic is put in the hands of the next generation. They will be talking tides, turtles, and the urgent call to protect our coastal heritage. Only on Sunday, the 29th of June from 12 till 3 p.m., only on primemediaplus.com.
Coming up
on 702 Drive with John Perlman.
702 Drive with John Perlman is coming up from 3 to 6 p.m. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you? And how are all the listeners? Well,
I am doing well, and all of them are well. So meet Gerhard and Khanya, who are both our budding radio hosts. What tip would you like to share with them on being a radio host? They've been observing everybody. I think they're going to be stalking, shadowing you later, because I said it is important.
Around, yeah.
They see different styles, but what tip would you like to share with them?
So the thing I would say about radio is that grab every single opportunity you possibly can to be on radio whenever and wherever you can. I remember somebody said to me, how do I get into radio? And I gave them that advice, and they said, no, well, actually what I want to be is a radio host. And I thought, well, yeah, eventually that's something you can aim at and something that'll happen. But do exactly what you're doing now. You both found ways to get this fabulous opportunity to learn from our brilliant colleague. But if somebody else says, hey, listen, we need a newsreader, we need somebody to work with us for 4 days during the elections, we need somebody to help us with our coverage of the Springboks' arrival at the airport, just do it all. Get on air, get to know people, build your networks, and the opportunities will come.
And that's exactly what happened to Clement Manyatela.
Yeah.
He was a field reporter, then got to stand in, and now he has his own show. So everybody's journey is different. You just got to be right place, right time as well.
My first time ever on 702 was I did a football report for the sports show on a Saturday afternoon. Morocco Swallows versus Mamelodi Sundowns.
Who won?
Well, that's a good point because John Robbie was presenting, and he said, and John Perlman was that. He said, John, how was the game? And I said, it was very good. And then you could hear like this pause, and he thinks, oh my goodness, who've I got here? He said, what was the score? So that was and then it got better.
There we go.
And then it got worse. And then it got better. And then it mainly got worse. So if you're doing a sports report, it's always good to start with the score.
There we go. What's coming up on your show today?
So big ructions in the cabinet, or maybe not, but certainly changes. The President Cyril Ramaphosa has decided to axe one of the DA deputy ministers, as I think you guys have already been hearing. Andrew Whitfield was in the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Competition. What does this all mean? Are there going to be other changes? And if he's doing this, huge question is why, and why now? I have some thoughts of my own, which I'll keep to myself until we're actually doing this. Staying with politics, 4 very interesting by-elections. Wayne Sussman will give us his explanation of those. Staying still with politics, parliamentarians are busy talking about the budget, the next stage of that process underway. Lindsay Dentlinger will update us on that at 25 minutes past 3. And then we've got Jeff Wicks from News 24. He has doggedly, over months and probably years, looked into what was behind the assassination of Babita Deokaran and all those crooked deals that have cost the public purse hundreds of millions of rand in regard to Tembisa Hospital, which is in the state that we all know it's in. So Jeff with us with his latest revelations. He'll join us at 10 past 4 for that.
All right, that's 7:02 Drive with John Pullman coming up from 3 to 6 p.m.
7:02.
Nola knows.
20 minutes to 3 o'clock, we continue with our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows. Wendy Nola has been chatting to Buelwa Mpepo, who had a situation that Wendy took the case on of. We're also joined by Malcolm KV, who is from View for You, that deals a lot with assessment of second-hand vehicles and also has quite a bit of experience when it comes to being able to advise people who are buying vehicles or have bought vehicles if all the checks and balances and due diligence have been done in that situation. So, Wendy, over back to you.
Thanks, Relebogile. So in this case, we've established that the car, we have photographic proof that this car was in a serious accident. Looks like it shot off the road, rolled in the grass. Both the side airbags were deployed, which is consistent with a rolling situation. Anyway, so I went to Fox Auto, and the main question was the car can't be legitimately registered in Buelwa's name. She cannot insure it. This is a built-up car which you didn't disclose until it was on the form there for her to see, which she only got after she got the car. So I said, of course, are you going to take the car back at your cost and refund her 295,000 rand? Well, I asked that question at least 3 times and I didn't get a direct answer. All I got was from Gloria. She said, I said, who's the owner, manager? No, she gave me the name of Paddy. What's the surname? No, she doesn't know. Okay. Email him, phone him, gives me his number, goes straight to voicemail. So I ended up emailing the dealership and I emailed Paddy, but Gloria responded, I don't know her surname. So that's all I know. She said, obviously I put to her Consumer Protection Act, it's been 6 months, this car, needs to go back. I also said it appears to be a fraudulent sale, given the undisclosed damage and the registration status of the car, blah, blah, blah. So she says to me, after the car came back from service, we notified the client. We were informed the rear section of the car was involved in an accident. That was on March the 24th, and she appreciated our transparency via WhatsApp. I have to bring Buelwa in now. Please tell me this disclosure and transparency happened after you paid for the car and after it was on the way to you, and there wasn't much you could do about it. But what exactly did she say about the nature of that accident or that damage, Buelwa?
This said to me, because the only thing, that was the problem, it was every time the guy for the truck to take the car from me was always wants to go fetch the car, then they were always having a problem of the car, there's no electricity at that car, there's this and that and that and that. Then this day, the guy picked up the car, then he called me, she said, sorry, Sissy, then now I found out at the roadworth, they found out the car was in a little accident. Then I said, are you telling me you didn't see that? Then he said, no, you can't tell. And I asked, what is your boss saying? He said, Also, my boss said you can't tell. There's no scratches whatsoever. So it was a little accident. Then I said, okay, I will see when the car is here. Then, thank you for letting me know. Then the car was already on the road. What I was gonna say? Nothing, and the money already in their bank account.
Okay, so that's good context. Thank you for that. Gloria continues, due to proximity challenge, I think she means because you live in Cape Town and they're in Joburg, when the client notified us of the chassis matter, we tried to find someone to take the car and assist us with inspection, but there was a trust issue from her side. The car, as it got supplied to our dealership on the 5th of March 2025, was already on the system with a valid disc. We believe the word fraudulent is misplaced here. Either you are assuming the car is not registered or confusing the term built up with a code 4. I never said anything about a code 4 ever. So, and all my follow-up questions around that were ignored. Malcolm, what do you make of that response?
Sorry, just hold on 1 second, Malcolm. Yes, now you're here. Yes, Malcolm, go ahead.
Am I here? So firstly, that response is very pure, vague junk. They are lying. They are just brushing away, coming with silly stories. What trust issues were there? That's not true. There are so many people that can do the inspection for them there. They just don't want to take responsibility. And also I heard, them speaking about that, the vehicle was obviously taken to DEKRA for maybe this road worthy certificate and so forth. The truth remains, Wendy, is that vehicle, how they got that certificate on the 24th, when how it came, we've seen few cases where cars have certificates, but you can see this car cannot even be driven, but it has a certificate fit for service, and this is just one of them. And the beautiful part again about this instance is that another roadworthy failed this vehicle. It wasn't an inspection company. It wasn't any Tom, Peter, Paul. It was another roadworthy company that exposed us. So it's just junk.
Okay, thank you for that. Now I had to go to, I didn't have to, but I thought I would. This car was, you always saw the advert on Auto Trader, so I went to Auto Trader for comment, and I said, well, it's important to state that 6 months ago, Auto Trader launched a review system allowing buyers to review their experiences with the respective dealerships that they bought the cars from. 58% of people who bought cars from Fox Auto gave them a 1-star review on Auto Trader. Okay, so I asked the platform a number of questions. How do you get the buyers to rate their dealership experience? What percentage respond? I was given an answer that's many, but not an exact percentage. How does Auto Trader attempt to educate buyers about taking heed of reviews, what the red flags are, etc.? And the important question, does Auto Trader ever stop listing cars from a particular dealer based on customer feedback in order to protect other consumers? And please elaborate. And is there a checklist that Auto Trader requires listing dealerships to commit to in terms of cars that they're going to list on the site? For example, proof of service history, main and spare key, proof of background checks done, anything like that. Okay, the response is very long, and I want to try and praise it as much as I can without leaving out anything really material. So Auto Trader told me that after sending an inquiry to a dealership, consumers receive communication via multiple channels on how to rate and review their experience with the dealership over time. So this ratings and review platform that they have was established in December 2024. They say it's the only dedicated one in South Africa. It's received more than 50,000 ratings and reviews in the past 6 months. And they say as car shoppers become accustomed to the system, the number of reviews is increasing, providing additional transparency, there's that word again, to future car shoppers. They say they try and be provide as much transparency as possible. We have a section to guide consumers in understanding reviews, spotting red flags, asking the right questions, and we are committed to expanding this section more. As for the big question, does Auto Trader ever delist dealerships based on poor customer feedback? They say transparency is at the core of what we do. We only delist dealers that breach our terms and conditions. So that would be a no to specific questions because the terms and conditions don't have anything to do with poor ratings. I did find this. The information and material displayed on the website is provided without any guarantees, conditions, or warranties as to the accuracy. So yeah, they say that the ratings and reviews are a transparency feature, not a punitive feature. So no consequences. The punitive nature resides in consumers potentially not engaging with low-rated dealers or engaging with higher-rated dealers more. So they're not going to tell them, we're not taking your listing. You have to read the ratings and hope that they're accurate and make your decision based on that. Do they get the dealerships to commit to proof of service history, spare key availability, etc.? The answer is dealers are encouraged to upload all the information about a vehicle to the website. AutoTrader gives the dealers all the tools to be transparent, asking for service history proof, spare key availability, background checks, as well as if it's a code 3. Well, that didn't happen in Boyelwa's case, unfortunately. So Boyelwa, the only option for you now, and you know how I hate not getting a win for people who complain to me. I'm really sorry. I did my best. But the only option left, well, there would be a civil case, but you can go to the police to lay a charge. Is this something you would have to go to Johannesburg because the dealership is based there? Is this something you can do or want to do?
So let's do this, Wendy. We need to take another break. Boyelwa, hold on to that question that when we come back, we can talk about options for next steps. And Malcolm will still be with us, maybe 1 or 2 tips of a reminder of what to look out for before buying a used vehicle.
Welcome to the Chamberlain Hotline. Press 1 for heaters, 2 for expert DIY advice, 3 for deals hotter than your geyser. Or press 4 for all the above when you visit your nearest Chamberlain for our famous for warming your homes promotion. Get everything you need to make winter warmer from the 19th of June to the 6th of July, plus 10% off chamber value paint mixing and a free hot chocolate while you wait. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
Everyone knows health emergencies can pop up when you least expect it, and they can come with big bills. But with a Visa FNB credit card, you have a resource that helps you manage those costs. Tap into the health budget facility that lets you move your medical expenses into a flexible, easy to manage payment plan. So you can focus on what really matters, getting better, because peace of mind is priceless. Apply for a Visa FNB credit card online or visit your nearest branch today. Help changes everything. T's and C's apply. Credit is subject to meeting the qualifying criteria. FNB is a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Volksfest deals are back. Get a free upgrade to the Polo Vivo Life when you buy a new Polo Vivo and pay 0% deposit. Get more features at no extra cost. Buy it now and only pay 3 months later. Offer valid only through Volkswagen Financial Services. Looking for something sportier? The stylish T-Cross is yours from just 399,900 Rand. These Volksfest deals won't last. Visit your nearest dealer today or visit vw.co.za.
Our massive annual sale is finally here. Get to Dilebed today for up to 33% off a selection of our best brands, like the 40 Winks Extra Firm Active Zone Queen Set, reduced to only 11,999. Shop in-store or online right now. Plus, get fast delivery on our best sellers. Dilebed, sleep for life.
702.
Nola knows.
8 minutes to 3 o'clock. Time really moves so quickly on a Thursday, particularly in our consumer rights feature, Nola knows. But this is a big subject that we're talking about, and there are many learnings we can take out of it. We're still joined by Boyelwa Mpepo, as well as Malcolm KV of View for You, as we are dealing with this vehicle nightmare experience. 011-883-0702, the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. Before we went to the break, Boyelwa, Wendy asked, would you be interested in pursuing either a civil case or even going to the police and opening a case there?
Definitely, it's what I'm going to do. I don't have a choice because I want my money back because I need another car.
Sure.
Thank you so much for being willing to join us and tell that awful story. We were in the interest of helping others avoid that scenario. So there are many lessons. For me, it's don't buy a car unseen, not unless you get a professional who you trust to do a full check on it first. Always ask to see 2 keys, main and spare, as well as the service book, and check that service book. Check that the services actually did happen. If you're thinking that's far too much work, how much more work is it when you get landed with a lemon and you didn't do your due diligence? I'm sure Malcolm wants to add a few things.
Of course, he always does. Malcolm, remind us again, everybody buying secondhand cars. And I mean, times have changed. We're more comfortable with online. What else can you add for us?
I think, Relebogile, one of the things is that people must stop trusting Auto Trader. They need to stop trusting Cars.coza. They need to stop trusting these car find the causes and so forth. They need to start doing their due diligence. Those are advertising platforms. We wrote to them. We even had a meeting with one of these guys, a serious meeting, and we said, why aren't you having on your site an option for people to choose a third-party inspector to go and inspect before they purchase, and they push it to the bin? We've said, why? That shows care. They don't care. There's nothing about what they're doing that shows care. And we believe that it's time that they stop doing things like that. So when buying a car, don't take things too light. For example, we posted a vehicle the other day with a tampered VIN number. Many people came on social media saying, man, VIN numbers get changed. Don't worry about it. It must be the ECU. Little did they know. While we posted that, one of the biggest, the South African Insurance Crime Bureau contacted us, and they said, hey, we're looking for that car. You understand now, but that person bought it thinking, it's just APV numbers. They just believed the dealer. Don't worry, we got record of this. Do not believe anything any seller or any dealer says. Well said, Wendy. We want to see those spare keys. If you don't have a spare key, we don't know. We can talk other things. We want to see a copy of that NATSA's paper. Do not believe a pre-owned dealer if they say they do not have a copy. It's either they don't have a copy, they don't own that vehicle, or there's something they are hiding. It's time South Africans stop buying cars without seeing paperwork. Service history, mandatory. Last night, someone contacted us about the Lexus and the Toyotas that are being rolled out from a certain company, that there's a suspicion that mileages are going to be reversed, and it's quite a huge amount. South Africa, we beg you all, please do your due diligence. You go online, you're seeing a dealer that the ratings are bad, run away from them.
Can I actually just ask, Malcolm and Wendy, I think the part one of this conversation is us, saying, check the paperwork. Can we make some time to talk about what is supposed to be, like what makes the paperwork legit? Because if we're not familiar with certain paperwork, like a roadworthy or whatever it is, we're not even going to know what to look out for. So I don't know, Wendy, what your thoughts are on us doing that.
I think that's a very good point, because those of us who deal with all these things, a lot, we kind of maybe assume that people know more than they do. So that, absolutely. I've put out this invitation a lot. Is the other part of this is when you're buying a car, the offer to purchase and all those extras and all the costs and the way they finance it and everything. You've got 7 days in which that offer to purchase is binding. It stands. They must honor it. Send it to me, and I'll save you a whole lot of money and pick out some problem areas. That's assuming the car is all right. I think we should do that, and we take it step by step. Maybe not next week, but soon, and we'll pick out all the areas to zone in on, and hopefully help a lot of people that way.
Thank you so much, Buyelwa and Malcolm and Wendy Nola. I know we didn't get an opportunity to open the lines today, but this is quite a big subject. We will make the time to talk about what the documents are supposed to include, what makes them legitimate. And I also see all of you that were trying to call and sending your messages with your car issues. We are taking your details for next time.
Kickstart your small business with a starter bundle from Nedbank. Enjoy free transactions for 6 months, including free cash deposits and withdrawals and a free debit card, with easy digital access and a dedicated banker to guide you along every step of the way. Open a Nedbank starter bundle with SA's best bank for SMEs. Apply on the Money app today. Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Want to celebrate Women's Day in style? Then get your tickets at Grammy Award-winning singers Anthony Hamilton and Joe Thomas come together to celebrate the incredible women of Mzansi on the 9th of August. Happening at the iconic DP World Wanderers Stadium in Sandton. They'll be joined by South Africa's multi-award-winning singers, the incomparable Zonke, Sjava, and Vusinova. Get your tickets now on CompuTicket or webtickets.co.za. Brought to you by Soulful Night, Vertex Events, and 702.
Herschel Gibbs here with more than just a crypto ad. Crypto payments are now live on 10Bet. And there's more. Download the app, deposit, and get an extra 5% in cash. The future of betting, faster, safer, and smoother. Play now at 10bet.co.za. 10Bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Let me get this right, Ron. You're a plumber by day and Pretoria's smoothest wedding DJ by night.
Yeah, it started out as a passion and now I've got bookings until December. And a smoke machine that needs its own seatbelt.
And you sold your car to buy a van through We Buy Cars.
Brew, it was music to my ears. Zero admin, no long queues. They pulled in, checked it out, and before I knew it, I had cash in the bank.
Now that's a banger. We Buy Cars. Geared for your passion, geared for you.
Thank you so much for joining us on 702 Afternoons, primemediaplus.com, or download the app. It's 3 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Insubordination leads to the firing of Andrew Whitfield, and firefighters respond to a blaze at the SAB depot in Soweto. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. While President Cyril Ramaphosa's office has remained mum on reasons behind the axing of Andrew Whitfield as one of the Deputy Ministers of Trade, Eyewitness News has reliably learnt that he was fired for insubordination.